I want to let you know why doing hard things is the best thing that I've ever done for myself, along with why I believe it can be the best thing that you ever do for yourself. So hard things, and the reason why I say this as well too is because there's this quote that has always stuck with me: hard choice is easy life, easy choice is hard life. So if I make a hard choice, my life is going to be easy. If I make the easy choice, my life is going to be hard. This can apply to staying at a job. It can be applied to staying at a company and a relationship. It could apply to any area in your life where it is hard for you to make the decision. It was very hard for me when I ended up leaving the job I was at beforehand. I know I talk about this a lot because it's one of the main stories that I feel can resonate with a lot of people, because it's helped me grow a lot over this past year. So I figure if it's helped me grow doing this hard thing that I didn't know what I was going to be able to do for this past year, I figure it might help somebody out as well too. And that's just my 2 cents in how I view things. I just want to share what's worked for me, and hopefully maybe it'll work for you as well too. So I'm just curious, like, do you have anything right now that you're postponing that seems like it's hard, that seems like it's difficult? Because whatever that is, I'd recommend you go do that said thing. It's the thing that I always do. It's like, it's not easy for me to maybe go on a walk every single day, but I go on a walk every single day. It might not necessarily be easy for me to make a video every single day, but I make a video every single day. It might not be easy for me to create a website and sell products, yet I do that every single day. It might not be easy for me to interview other people and tell people, hey, I can't work with you, or I can't work with you, or hey, I can't respond to these comments, but I can't respond to these comments, or I can't hang out with you, or I can't hang out with you. Like, they're hard choices that I have to make each and every single day, because we're only ever presented with 2 options. I also found a tennis ball today on my walk, so I've been bouncing it this whole time. There's always 2 choices that we can always make. There's always going to be an easy choice, there's always going to be a hard choice. And the crazy thing about this as well too, at least from the perspective that you can glean, that you can take, is it's going to depend on your definition of hard and your definition of easy. As my definition of hard is going to be different from your definition of hard, and my definition of easy is going to be different from your definition of easy. Because I could be like, hey, it's very easy for me to hike up a 14er mountain. A 14er is 14,000 feet above sea level, so it's just very high up in the mountains. I could say that that's easy for me, and you'd be like, dude, I could never do something like that. That would be incredibly difficult for me. Whereas for you, you'd be like, yeah, it's really easy for me to, let's say, swim 4 miles or something like that. And then for me, I'd be like, that's incredibly difficult for me to do. I could start to make it easy by practicing and swimming each and every single day, by going just a couple of laps here and there. It could be the same thing for you if you say you wanted to climb a mountain. If you want to climb a mountain, you can make it easy by going on a walk every single day, kind of like I do right now. It really just comes down to what it is that you want and what you deem as hard versus what you deem as easy. And that's why I'm always, in the back of my mind, is breaking down certain tasks that are hard into small little micro tasks. So like when I first wanted to lift like 325 pounds on bench, I wanted to break 400 on squat, and then I wanted to do 500 on deadlifts. I also had help from like mentors and coaches, and a guy that had been lifting for like 60 plus years. He holds the record in bench for benching the most in the nationals for powerlifting. He's like 65 plus, but he was like the guy that helped me get my bench up, get my squat up, and get my deadlift up. But I had never imagined myself doing something like that until he constantly reminded me. And he's like, hey, you're a lot stronger than you think. You're a lot stronger than you know. It's just like, you could do this. Like, you can do this. Like, you can move this weight. Hey, you've got it. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that much weight. Oh, it's light. Like, you can make this happen. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, you got this. So we just continually kept training each and every single day. And we'd work. Put on maybe 5 pounds here. Maybe do a little extra rep here. Maybe we'd adjust the form, like make sure that I move the bar down on my back or something like that. Or I'd move my hands over on my bench, or I'd engage in my lats, or I'd drive with my legs. On my deadlift, I'd make sure that like I was leaning back, sitting, and pulling up. We just work our way up every single day until eventually I hit 500 pounds on deadlift, which it wasn't a pretty 500 pounds, but I did 500 pounds. And when I first started, it was so difficult. Like, it was incredibly difficult. But it became easy because I broke down the tasks. It's the same thing with me benching 300. I only got up to like I think it was 320, because I didn't want to cheat by having my ass go off the bench. So I didn't, like, I got I didn't get 3 plates, but I did get 300 plus, which I'm still happy with that. I'm satisfied with that. I don't know why I didn't want to get 3 plates total. I just didn't feel like I wanted to cheat myself by lifting my ass off the bench. It's a whole powerlifting thing. If you ever want to know about that, I'm happy to explore that. But there's certain rules and regulations they had to follow. So I want to make sure that I was able to make that hard task easy by breaking it down into small little daily tasks. Like we'd bench once a week, sometimes 2 times a week, for probably half an hour, 45 minutes or so. Like that would be our whole workout. And I would still go off, do some other accessory stuff just because I like doing other accessory stuff. The guy I was lifting with, he kind of did as well too, but not as much as I enjoyed doing the accessory stuff. He's more about bench, but he'd still like lift with me and help me out. But he mainly helped me out with the 3 powerlifting ones. Because even when I went off and did squatting as well too, that also helped me in new ways that I didn't even think it was gonna help me out in the first place. And I used this program called, it was during Squattober. I think it helped me out a lot, but I also had been squatting prior to then. And I went up to 405 and I was like, oh, that felt good. And then I went to 415 and I was like, oh, that felt even better. I was like, let's try 420. She did 420. I was like, wow, let's try 425. 425 was where I ended up failing. But I still got way more weight than I had expected to. And I was like, damn, dude, that's impressive. Like I had never imagined myself moving that type of weight at the gym. I don't do that much weight anymore, mainly because I've been not eating as much food as I once was, and you have to eat a lot of food to be able to get into that place of being able to do that hard thing and make it easy. So I just don't lift as much. Like now it's just like 225 on bench, 275 on squat. Don't really do much deadlifting anymore, just because when I was watching back some of the videos, they were a little bit challenging, or not challenging. I didn't think that the risk to reward was worth it. And that's something else that you'd want to keep in mind, is when you are deciding whether or not to take the hard choice, which I always recommend taking the hard choice, whatever it may be, is be willing to look at, is there going to be a reward, even if there isn't a reward, because there's always a reward in some way, shape, or form, depending on how you frame it and how you look at it. But there's always going to be some sort of like, is this worth the risk that I'm taking right now? Like if I was competing in powerlifting, I would keep doing deadlifts. But since I'm not competing in powerlifting, I'm kind of like, well, I don't really need to be doing deadlifts as much anymore. I still kind of am picking them up, again, just due to my back having a little bit of weakness. So it's like, let me rebuild up those back muscles by doing some deadlifts. So I guess I'm doing more rack pulls, but yeah, I guess my whole thing is like, how can we break down these big tasks into small individual bite-sized pieces to make them easy? Because sometimes you might also think that like reading a book is very hard. Like I've been reading books again lately, which has been great. I stopped reading for a little while because I just felt like I needed to focus more on my internal state and focus on everything that I had going on and quiet around the outside world, and just be like, what is it that I want? Which that, my dear boy, my dear friends, that was the hardest thing that I had ever done, was shutting out the entire world and just going within and being like, okay, well, what do I want? What can I achieve? What can I get? But now I'm in a completely different spot. Like I feel different. I feel more amazing. Like I feel incredible. Like my relationships are better. Everything is just better now that I took this leap. Now that I had the courage to go do something that was part of the unknown. I decided to have faith in whatever was going to happen, and it's what I've done. And I'm just like, I'll just figure out what the day brings tomorrow, which I was grateful for. Did lots of hiking, did lots of other amazing things, and it was the hardest thing that I had ever done. Yet I had grown, and I had to do that because I needed to be in this place so that then I could be an inspiration to you, so that you can know like, hey, if you have a risk, or if you have a gamble, or if you want to try some idea, or if you have this dream that you want to achieve in your life, you can do it. You can. You truly can. You just have to risk maybe something. You just have to take that leap. You have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. So that's exactly what I did. Stepped out of my comfort zone. It's been terrifying, yet also liberating at the exact same time. It's been frightful yet joyful at the exact same time. It's like I've hated every moment of it, yet I've loved every moment of it. It's like I have these contradictory emotions going on, and yet I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't go back and wish things to be different. I wouldn't go back and wish things could have happened in a different way. It's like, no, I'll just make the most out of the opportunities that I do have right now to help me continue moving forward in a more positive, uplifting way. How you doing? So I just keep on moving forward in the best ways that I know how, because regardless of the movement that I'm making, as long as I'm making some movement in a positive direction, I'm moving in the way that I need to be moving. because a lot of the times we stay stuck and stagnant in one specific spot, like I was talking about in a couple videos ago, until we start to move. Once we start to move, we can make the adjustments, we can make the pivots, we can make the changes that are required. But if we never start that move, then we can never make those changes. And it's why I'm such a big proponent in doing hard things. Like, let me know down in the comments down below, like, what is one hard thing that you're trying to do right now, or that you like to do? How can we break that up into small little individual bite-sized pieces? Either, like, let's say, I'll go back to the book. Let's say you're trying to read a book, but you're like, the book's too long, it's 300 pages or whatever it is. It's like, okay, like, how many chapters are there? It's like, okay, well, there's 8 chapters. It's like, okay, that's a lot less than 300 pages. It's like, yeah, that's still 8 chapters is still a lot. It's like, okay, well, how many pages are in each chapter? It's like, what would that be? 20-ish pages? 8, 16, 24, 30, let's say 40 pages in each chapter. It's like, okay, that's still a lot of pages, but it's a lot less than like the whole 300-page book that you'd have to be reading. It's like, okay, well, if that's the case, how can I break that down even further and be like, well, what if each day I just read one word, or I read one sentence, or I read one page, or I read one paragraph, and we just break it down in little bite-sized pieces. And you just do that first thing in the morning when you wake up, and then that hard thing starts to become easy. It's just about figuring out what it is and breaking it down into small individual bite-sized pieces to make things as efficient and easy as they possibly can be. Because I'm not about making life difficult. Like, yes, life will be difficult at times, but I'm also about making it fun and enjoyable and easy, because the easier it is, the more fun it can be. Also, the harder it is, the more you can build your confidence, your character, your charisma, your resolve, your perseverance, which I don't believe a lot of people have that, because a lot of people don't take the risk to do the hard thing. Whereas I'm on the opposite side of the coin. I'll take the risk to do the hard thing 9 times out of 10. And I'll figure it out as I move forward from there. So I hope you guys end up doing the same. And if you do, just let me know. You can subscribe to the channel. I do have merch now. I decided to open up a little store. There's a link down in the description, or maybe in one of the comments. You can check that out if you want. If you made it to the end of the video, it'd be really appreciated, just because it's helping fund me being able to continue making these videos for you. And maybe eventually one day we'll do like one-on-one coaching or something like that, because I didn't expect this channel to have people watching me every single day. So never really had these intentions, but that's what I say, like, you just have to start walking. You just have to figure it out. As you get feedback, then you can make small little adjustments from there. But if you never go out and you never try, if you never start, if you never do the hard thing in the first place, you can never make those adjustments. You can never make the pivots. You can never do the things that you want to do, because you're just stuck staying at home. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. It's just that's not the thing that I myself have wanted. I have always wanted more. I've always wanted to inspire as many people as I possibly can. And even if I'm just inspiring one person, that's one person that I wasn't originally inspiring in the first place. And now I'm inspiring them, yourself, because you're watching this video. So I'd consider that a win in my book. And that's all I can ever really consider is the wins in my book, is I can only do my inputs as much as you can only do your inputs. And the outputs, they just kind of take care of themselves. So it's just a matter of figuring out what is the hard thing that you're doing right now, or you want to do. Break down small little individual bite-sized pieces. Go off and make something out of that hard thing, and then just watch the miracles in the world unfold around you. And then you'll start to see beautiful, amazing things happen to you in the most miraculous ways. So yeah, I wish you all the best, and thank you for watching to the end of the video, and I'll see you tomorrow. So talk soon.